I want to put you in on a little secret. The most impressive person in an interview isn't the one with the fanciest resume or even the smartest person. It's the one who asks the best questions, the one who shows that they've really done their inner work, the one who's discerning and not just desperate. I was a recruiter for many years, and one of my biggest interview pet peeves has always been when we get to the end of the interview and I ask the candidate if they have any questions for me, and they look at me, smile, and say, you know what? You've already answered all my questions throughout the conversation, and I don't think I have any questions. What are the next steps? Oh my goodness, I just cannot stand that. Why don't you have questions? And I think the problem for the most part is people's mindsets. A job interview isn't just about impressing somebody else. It's a two-way stream. You're advocating for yourself as well by getting clarity, using your faith and discernment. Hear me clearly, job searching shouldn't just be about getting a job. It should be about building a career that supports the life you want and not one that drains it. So when you walk into an interview hoping they will choose you, don't do that. I want you to flip the script because you're interviewing them too. So let's get on to the questions. Not every one of them will be relevant in all interviewing situations. Some might naturally be answered during your conversation, which is why you should think about always walking into the interview with a bank of useful questions to pull from. That way, if you get to the interview, you're never gonna draw a blank. You'll always have something to ask. It's always the good idea to get an understanding of the company's culture, get to know their leadership style. This is huge because no matter how good a role looks on paper, a toxic culture, poor leadership, that's gonna drain you. So ask them, how does the company support employees in maintaining a healthy work-life balance? Why does this matter? You're not just a worker, you're a whole person. And if you're a parent, a homemaker, a caregiver, balance isn't optional. You need to know that, you have that flexibility to do the things that you need to do. The way they respond to this is going to reveal whether they genuinely prioritize well-being as an organizational culture, or it's just like an unspoken thing and you're gonna end up having to sacrifice every now and again. Can you tell me about your leadership style? Ask this if you're meeting the hiring manager. So important. Leadership can make or break your work experience, and before you say yes to them, you really want to know whether they are a hands-on, hands-off, micromanager, somebody that is trusting to their employees, empowering. You just want to know if their leadership style works with your personality. How is feedback typically given here? Growth depends largely on feedback you receive, but so does your peace of mind. So if their answer is vague, that might signal a lack of structure or even maturity in communication. But if they're really intentional about feedback and say something along the lines of, we do monthly check-ins with structured feedback plus informal weekly one-on-ones, they say, I believe in addressing issues immediately rather than waiting for annual reviews, you have yourself a green flag. But on the flip side of that, if they say something like, you'll know when there's a problem, or something pretty vague like that, like, we're informal over here, big red flag. By the way, if it's your first time here, hi, I appreciate you clicking and watching this video. My name is Nicole Nyasha, and if you find this video useful, do give it a thumbs up, subscribe. You should also ask questions to gauge growth and advancement. This is where you show that you're a forward-thinking person, and make sure you're not walking into a dead-end role. But at the same time, you have to play it safe because you don't want them to think that you're overly focused on growth to the point that they're scared to hire you. So ask them, what does success look like in this role and how will it be measured? This matters because you want to get clarity on expectations. You want to know if the company moves the goalpost consistently or if they're clear and have achievable standards. What are the typical career paths people in this role usually follow? This one is delicate. You don't want to come off as, somebody that's like solely focused on promotions. But if growth is important to you, then you need to know this. You need to know whether they promote from within or you're gonna be stuck in the same spot for years. Are there any professional development or training opportunities offered? We love a workplace that invests in your skills and not just uses them. So if they provide you with a budget for mentorship, certifications, trainings, these are all good signs that, a company wants you to actually grow and mature alongside them. And I'll say this, growth doesn't always mean that you're climbing the corporate ladder. For some, it could mean that, you're deepening your expertise or just finding a role that gives you the right balance that you want. It's almost always good to position yourself as a strategic thinker, and there are questions to make that happen. What are some of the biggest challenges the team is facing right now, and how could I contribute to solving that problem? This shifts you from applicant to problem solver and gives you some insights into realities you might not necessarily find in your research. How does this team or department contribute to the company's overall, goals or mission? It's important that you know how your work matters and whether the role connects to something that is bigger than just busy work. You also want to know what systems, tools they use to stay organized and to communicate. The tools that they use will directly impact your workflow and your stress levels. And this response can indicate whether they run a tight ship or they just leave things up in the air and you'll have to figure out for yourself. Before we wrap up, is there anything about my background or experience you have question marks about? This one's really bold but powerful. It shows that you're confident, it invites transparency, and it's going to give you the opportunity to address any concerns before leaving the room, and you don't really have to wonder if you nailed it or, if they still had some questions. Please be mindful that some of these questions might be more suitable for the hiring manager versus the recruiter because they're the ones that are working closely with you and they're the ones that, you will be reporting to. So just be mindful of that and know which questions to ask the recruiter and which questions to ask the hiring manager. There's no reason why you should be asking the recruiter to tell you about their leadership style. And if you made it this far in the video, thank you so much for watching. Please give this video a thumbs up and good luck in your interview.